I got it, guys. I got it. I cracked the code. I found out what was the one and only skill for me to become a full-time filmmaker. I always thought that things that would be important to become a full-time filmmaker were working 12 hours a day, knowing everybody in the industry, had to be the best in the industry, had to pay for ads, constantly doing meetings, things like that. But last year I found out what really was the key to do filmmaking as a profession. First of all, hi guys, I'm back. In the last 1.5 years I uploaded, let me count, 1 video on this channel. But what else did I do? No, of course not. I spent a lot of time working for clients, and while I did that, I discovered this secret. It was when I got a call from a client of mine that asked me to do another project. But it was a long project, so I looked at my calendar and I passed the project to someone else. And at that point, instead of going back to work, I grabbed a coffee, looked outside and realized that this was the key to do filmmaking full time. Passing on projects to someone else instead of doing them yourself? No, of course not. But that moment was a big moment for me, because when you're doing something, like when you're in it, doing it, for example, full-time filmmaking, it becomes your normal and you think it's easy and you forget like how you got there. It's the same as, for example, me and doing 100 push-ups every day. Okay, maybe not that, but to find out how I came to the point that I had enough projects to do filmmaking full-time, I had to zoom out. First of all, for full-time filmmaking you need enough projects. So how did I get enough projects? I opened my big file folder with the invoices I sent last year. Then I quickly realized that I do everything online and opened my administration software. When I looked at the money that came in, I found out that most of my invoices were coming from people that or I already worked with, like recurring clients, or people that came to me because I got recommended by somebody else I already worked with. So word to mouth. So if recurring clients and word to mouth is the key to do filmmaking full time, what about that skill I told you about? For that I zoomed out even more. Why are clients coming back to me? So I spent hours doing the math to discover that no. I picked up the phone, called them and asked them. Hey, I hope I don't bother you, but I was just wondering why you called me again for the new projects. And you know what I found out? Besides the fact that everybody once in that conversation told me that they liked the video I made, they all started with, "It was nice to work with you." So the whole experience of working with me became the #1 reason to contact me again. So that's it, the skill is being nice to work with. No, of course not, that's not a skill. So to figure it all out, to find out what made it so nice to work with me, I revisited all the moments I had contact with the client. The good client process. For example, here in the first conversation, finding out what his wants and needs are, how he likes to communicate, but also setting the expectations right. Here, one day before the production day, I was packing my bags and I called him if he was like ready for tomorrow's shoot and if he had any questions about it. Or like behind me, I'm editing the video and in exactly the right phase. For example, when I'm choosing music, I'm asking for his preferences. Then I took some well-deserved days off and I got a call from my client when he can expect the video to be ready. And instead of lying and saying tomorrow because of the pressure, I was honest and said I had weekends, so I needed just a few more days. Or after delivering the video, I really made sure that he was satisfied with the video, that he was happy with it and that there were no questions anymore about anything. So guess what? It was never just one moment the client decided to be happy with me as a filmmaker providing him a service. It were all the moments I had contact with the client. It was the whole client process. And that's just because of one skill. The one skill that I'm still learning more of every day. And that skill is communication. I'm sorry, it sounds as boring as it is. But you can be the best filmmaker in the game, make the most amazing products. If you want to work for clients, you have to master the skill of communication. I already gave you some examples of that process and I will probably make more content about it in the future. So subscribe and hit the bell to make sure you don't miss that. But good communication through the whole client process, which by the way really is a skill, leads to a good client process, which leads to a satisfied client, which leads to referral clients or recurring clients, which leads to enough client projects without much effort, which leads you to be able to do filmmaking full time. And that, my fellow filmmakers, is one of the bigger lessons I realized last year, but definitely not the only one. So make sure you subscribe to be up to date to my new content. And then I will see you soon. Bye.